All right, let's jump right in. We're going to tackle one of the biggest puzzles in the crypto world. We all know Bitcoin doesn't have a boss, right? But that opens up a huge question. If nobody's actually in charge, how on earth does it ever get upgraded?
I mean, really think about that. There's no CEO to make a call, no headquarters, no board of directors to vote on anything, and yet Bitcoin has gone through some massive, really complex upgrades over the years. So, who's calling the shots? The answer, it turns out, reveals the absolute genius and, yeah, the controversy at the very heart of how Bitcoin is run.
The solution to this leaderless puzzle is a system that's, well, surprisingly formal, especially for something that's so famously decentralized. It all comes down to a simple three-letter acronym, BIP. This is the official engine for change in the Bitcoin universe.
So, a BIP stands for Bitcoin Improvement Proposal, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's the official blueprint for any potential change. This system's been around since 2011, and it's how the whole community suggests, debates, and eventually implements everything from tiny little tweaks to massive system overhauls. You can kind of think of it like a public suggestion box, but, for the world's first global digital currency.
Okay, but not all BIPs are created equal. They basically fall into three main buckets. You've got informational BIPs, which are just for general guidelines. Then you have process BIPs, which propose changes to the proposal system itself, which is pretty meta. But the ones we really care about, the ones that make the big waves, are the standards track BIPs. These are the heavy hitters, the proposals that directly change Bitcoin's core code and its fundamental rules.
So how does a simple idea become a fundamental change that affects a global network worth billions? Well, the journey of a BIP is actually a fantastic example of open-source collaboration in action. Let's walk through its life cycle.
It all starts with just a conversation. Seriously, developers might kick an idea around on social media or in online forums. If that idea gets some legs, it gets written up as a formal BIP and submitted to a public place on GitHub where it gets picked apart and reviewed by peers. Then comes the really crucial step, miner signaling. The miners, the computers securing the network, they get to vote. They do it by including a tiny piece of data, basically a yes vote, in the new blocks they create. If enough of them signal their support, the upgrade gets locked in, and boom, it's activated.
And look, this isn't just some theory on a whiteboard. This process has been seriously battle-tested, and it's led to some of the most important moments in Bitcoin's entire history. Let's look at a couple of major upgrades that actually made it all the way through this gauntlet.
Two of the most famous examples are segregated witness, we all know it as SegWit, back in 2017, and the more recent Taproot upgrade in 2021. And these weren't just minor patches, okay? These were fundamental shifts in how the Bitcoin network operates, and both of them started their lives as BIPs.
This is where you really see the power of the BIP system. SegWit was an absolute game changer for scalability. It made transactions way more efficient, and it fixed a nasty bug that had been around for a while. Then, 4 years later, Taproot comes along. It boosted privacy, made things even more efficient, and, this is the big one, it unlocked the potential for more complex smart contracts on the Bitcoin network. Each upgrade solved a totally different set of problems, proving that the network can actually adapt and evolve.
And the level of agreement needed for Taproot was just incredible. It wasn't a simple 51% majority. The activation method they used required a staggering 90% of all miners to signal their approval within a tight 3-month window. And they did it. I mean, to achieve that kind of consensus on a global, decentralized network is nothing short of extraordinary. But, and this is a big but, this system, as effective as it's been, is not without its critics. And the debate it sparks really gets to the core of what it even means to be decentralized.
So here's the million-dollar question. If the developers are the ones writing the proposals, and the miners are the ones voting on them, where does that leave the average Bitcoin user? The person who's actually holding and using the currency. The big criticism is that this setup concentrates all the power in the hands of a small technical elite and a few huge mining operations.
And that leaves us with the ultimate question, doesn't it? The BIP process gives Bitcoin a clear path to evolve without a king or a CEO. But does a system driven mostly by developers and miners truly represent everyone in the ecosystem? Is this a perfect model of decentralized governance, or has the power just shifted from a corporate boardroom to a new group of insiders? The answer isn't simple, and it's a debate that is absolutely going to continue to shape the future of Bitcoin.